Hello and welcome to Henry and Eric's Victorian Classroom. Today we will highlight some key features of the Victorian era to get a broad overview of the time period. Starting off, let us talk about Victorian Society. The Victorian period began 30 years after the banning of the slave trade and 4 years after the abolition of slavery itself. This document was made to campaign for an end to slavery in Britain. Slavery was still illegally present in Victorian society, but was avidly opposed by many Victorians.
Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution gained even more momentum with the discovery of steam power at the beginning of the Victorian era. There was also an unprecedented English urbanization. Seeking jobs, rural citizens poured into metropolitan areas. This drawing shows the urban growth caused by the Industrial Revolution.
As this industrialization occurred, child labor became very common. They were seen as a cheap and convenient source of labor for factory owners. This picture shows a group of children after a long day of work in poor conditions. Child labor also demonstrates the emergence of capitalism, something which was very controversial at the time.
The Industrial Revolution also caused many health problems and environmental issues. For example, normally brown trees around cities became covered in a black soot from coal factories. The moths that were previously able to blend in with the tree's brown bark were picked off by predators until very few brown moths remained, and the population became primarily black.
The Victorians did not like the crime that ruined their utopian bubble. They had strict laws and punishments. This era saw the use of witnesses, lawyers, and juries, which is similar to how our modern-day law system functions.
This drawing shows a man taking off his hat and bowing to a woman. Etiquette and politeness were extremely valued in the Victorian era. They wanted everyone to conform to what they believed was correct. In education, it was required for all students to learn about proper conduct and behavior.
This is a drawing of Queen Elizabeth's coronation in the Westminster Abbey Church. The Christian religion remained very influential throughout the Victorian era. The church ran schools and was often in control of rural towns. Society practically revolved around the Bible, which became the foundation of moral behavior.
This photograph shows several men working diligently in a blacksmith shop. Similar to the American dream, middle-class Victorians believed that with hard work, they could become wealthy. This idea of a self-made man has remained prevalent for hundreds of years around the world.
Perhaps the defining trait of the Victorian era was its gender ideology. The picture shows a dinner in a wealthy person's mansion. Women wear similar clothes, are equipped with fans, and wear the iconic Victorian-style dresses. Men all wear the same black suit. Men were seen as the working class, and power was mostly reserved for them. They had an ideology called the separate spheres, which basically stereotyped men as individuals with the capacity for reason, action, and independence, while women had qualities such as passivity, selflessness, and dependence. The Victorian era was a time of great change and development. Some parts weren't so pretty, but it undoubtedly helped lead to the more advanced world that we live in today. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.